As a female in this business, as a businesswoman, 2 times in your career you get to build a company or rebuild. It's an opportunity that I'm forever grateful. 5 years ago, I got the greatest opportunity of my life, which was to help start and build a brand called Noble Panacea. And what an amazing opportunity to be at my career path as a female in an industry to build a brand from scratch with an incredible founder and an incredible C-suite leadership team. And we built the brand for 5 years.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the latest episode of 580's podcast, The Commerce Circus. We're chopping it up with people behind great shopping experiences. I'm James Dean. I'm joined by our very own Liz Carlton, and our special guest today is Dawn Hilarczyk, the Chief Operating Officer at Borghese. Dawn, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So, Dawn, what's your grocery shopping experience like? Do you order online? Do you get things delivered? How many stores are you hitting up?
So I'm a foodie. Our family's a big foodie, so a big cook. It's funny, I always did the grocery shop where you walk up and down the aisle and look at everything. And then about 5 years ago, I got into this like auto delivery. I love them coming to my house. I love Instacart. I love Ep.5. And then my husband was like, that is so boring. We should go back to where we go up and down the aisle. So now, and this was not pandemic, none of that. This was just for us. So now I am majority of the shopper. I go back up and down the aisles again. But what I've learned is by doing that, we're very international in the way we cook, that you pick up these great things that, we're into Indian food now. So we're picking up spices and seasonings, and anywhere we travel, we always pick up, everywhere we go, no matter where we go globally, we go to a grocery store. So I always come home in my suitcase with a seasoning, a sauce, and something else unique that you can't find. So I'm kind of both now. I'm open to everything.
I went to Italy last year, and I think the only things I really brought back were cooking stuff. Wow. Ingredients. And what about fashion? Are you hitting up one store? I'm sure you go to a variety of stores. Or again, are you in person? Are you online?
So because I'm in the retail space, I think there's a misconception that I like to shop. I actually don't. So there you go, Jemmy. There's my secret. I think because I built my career in the mall segment and I was born in the mall. Like that's how my career started. I'm not a big shopper, and I like to shop for purpose. So I used to kind of fast fashion shop. When I was younger, I had credit cards, all this stuff. But lately, as I've gotten older, I am really picky on buying classics in the sense of I still like trend. I'm just a trend person, but I buy classic trend. I do buy some high end, but I'll give you a secret. I have to say since 2019, I would say 2019, I actually rent my clothes, most of them. And no one knows this. I'm only telling you, when I say no one, like no one knows this about my husband. I feel like there's a lot of reasons why. One of them is I think fashion is, like beauty, is really overused. I run a nonprofit. My nonprofit is for clothing for children of underprivileged needs. So again, learning that there's a lot of wasteful clothes in people's closets and financial. I also rent most of my clothes, and I also like that it's sustainable. But people don't know that about me. So, and it does help that I have stock in one of the companies. So now I feel like I'm getting although their stock's not doing that well right now. But anyways, I believe in both. I do like to touch and feel. I am a retailer. And so I will go to store, but I'm not that browsing store person.
Well, after this podcast, their stock is going to shoot up the roof, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So you like to shop grocery, you're back, you've returned to retail. Yeah. What ads are serving you right now? Like what side of TikTok are you on? What ads are following you around the internet? And have any been successful?
So it's funny, TikTok is all beauty tutorials just because that's my industry, right? So I follow, I'm obsessed with Michaela, I'm obsessed with Darcy, I'm obsessed. So I follow beauty by that design, and I follow some food from recipes and cooking. On Instagram, it's interesting. Even though home and food is like my livelihood, it's where I spend majority of my money. Because, people either eat their money, wear their money, drive their money, live in it, right? So we eat our money. I don't get ads. It's so weird. I get a lot of fashion, which is interesting because I don't buy a lot of fashion. But I have to say, if I see something on Instagram and I think it's interesting, I will click
Yeah.
on it. I will look to see where it's shipping from to see if it's legit. And then I will either go to the website or I'll go back to Instagram to buy from the shop because I really want to support brands that do have Instagram or TikTok
Social
shops if
commerce,
they're legit. I just love that for them. Yeah.
Love it. All right. So give us a
Yeah.
little bit of background of your career. I think you've had an entrepreneurial side of your career, but what helped kind of land you here today at Borghese and why Borghese?
So I was going to school for pre-law and psychology and I needed money in college. So I went to the mall in Alabama and I answered an ad that said you could be a counter manager. So I was like, I can do that. And they were like, no, you have no experience. You cannot be a counter manager. You need to work at this counter over here and learn how to do it. So I did that for a year. And then I got promoted to a counter manager. And then from there, the woman I worked for was a famous makeup artist. And her name is Trish McAvoy. She moved me to New York. And I worked in New York City. And I opened her flagship door in 59th Street in Bloomingdale's. And I was a makeup artist. And that was really my path to opening up more beauty. I was really doing fashion. I was doing print. There was no social media back then. Print, editorial. And I then quickly said, I don't want to be a lawyer. Like I had done some internship at a women's prison and I was like, ugh. So I went back and did fine arts. And that's when I started doing art school and classes and things like that. But as I was moving up in my career as a makeup artist, I started having my children. And quickly I got an offer. I've always been recruited. I'm very lucky. I've been very lucky to be recruited. A woman came into Barney's in New York City. This is when Sex and the City was being filmed and said, we want a makeup artist for Estee Lauder. And I said, I'm going. And then 9/11 happened and I just stayed with Lauder. They are an amazing company. They trained me to be the best executive. And I started going to management and I quickly learned that I'm more strategic and I'm more of a general manager than I am one sandbox. And if you know my personality, I don't fit into one sandbox. So then I moved up the ranks of my career, worked for the big guys. And then really about 10 years ago, someone said, you really should look at startups. So I was like, okay. And I have this mentality, if the door opens, I'll walk through it because you can always walk back out. And so I went into startups and contract manufacturing for a little bit and learned the dirty side of formulas. And contract manufacturing can be kind of an interesting business. And then I started going to Premier Skincare. And so I managed that. And then 5 years ago, I got the greatest opportunity of my life, which was to help start and build a brand called Noble Panacea. And what an amazing opportunity to be at my career path as a female in an industry to build a brand from scratch with an incredible founder and an incredible C-suite leadership team. And we built the brand for 5 years. Ironically, right before that offer came up, I had started my own nonprofit and I had started a food company. So I started feeling like I am more entrepreneurial in that way and I'm about innovation, but I always wanted to not follow the path of everyone else. I really am about scratching what the traditional marketing playbook is, but that disruption does not work well in corporate America and it doesn't work well in traditional marketing. So I really learned that I'm not for everyone and that I needed to be with brands that are about innovation and really disruption. And so Noble Panacea was one of the greatest career things I've ever done. And then a couple months ago, someone called me and said, hey, there's this brand called Borghese. Do you know it? I go, yes, I know Borghese. Everyone knows them, right? She goes, no, not everyone knows them anymore. And so I said, okay, I've just built a house from scratch. Like in my career, I get to build a house from scratch, a new company, which is Noble Panacea. And now I get to remodel an Italian villa. Why would I say no to that? So as a female in this business, as a businesswoman, 2 times in your career, you get to build a company or rebuild. It's an opportunity that I'm forever grateful. And so Borghese, if you don't know it, is an incredibly 65-year-old legacy brand founded by a female, Princess Borghese. Disruption in 1957, didn't need to create a beauty brand. She was a princess and created this amazing product. And so I've been given opportunity with our leadership team to rebuild and create this massive digital presence. And it's such something I'm so grateful for, but I also can see the future and see that this brand will be the top brand it used to be.
That's awesome.
That's
a hell of a career, overview.
I've been very lucky.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about Borghese, the brand, the product portfolio. What is it? Give us some of those details.
Yeah, so Borghese is an interesting brand. It's had a lot of different faces. It's had a lot of different
Mhm.
tenets in the brand that have remodeled the brand to their own taste. And so the brand has had an evolution over the last 65 years and can be quite confusing. Recently, this year and early last year, we decided to really hone in on what we do best, which is skincare. We were the first home at home spa.
That's
That's where
awesome.
Princess Borghese,
That's an awesome thing to
yeah,
say.
she really believed. Oh, when I tell you that she literally is quoted by saying that self care is not an indulgence, it's a
Oh,
necessity.
that's cool.
She created the term self care happens at home before this was a trend on
Yeah.
TikTok. She knew that if you took care of yourself at home, that you would feel better. And so we created the first at home spa. So our products are rooted in Italian quality and craftsmanship and this mud, not clay, mask that really helps you in 2 minutes indulge and create incredible impact to your skin. So what we're doing as a brand is doing what we do best. We've gotten rid of some SKUs that don't matter from a digital standpoint. As e-commerce, that's really tough because you have to make that decision. And we're honing on what we do best, which is skincare and full body. So we are face to body. We have body products, we have facial products, and it's about simplicity of the SKU arrangement, but things that work.
Cool.
So you don't need a million different products for it to work. And that's 60 over 65 years of our heritage.
That's great. I mean, that's great background on what's going on, some things that you're cleaning up. But what's next? What's on the horizon for Borghese? Any new products, new messaging, new retailers?
So we just launched a new product in March. It's an AHA overnight mask. And that's kind of a game changer because when you think of mask, you think of sheet or leave or take off. This is the ability to, you put it on, you go to sleep, you wake up with new skin. So that's kind of an innovation game changer. The second thing from a visionary standpoint is we need to be digital first. So that's an opportunity that I see with our brand is that we're not digital first. If you look at our social media, our Instagram is really challenged right now. Our Facebook is kind of our key catalyst. So, with Meta, it's really Instagram is what's driving business. And then there's that conversion e-commerce model with TikTok. So for me, the strategy as the company is to become an always on, number one, consumer centric, number two, and a digital first brand so that we can meet the consumer where they live because I don't care where they shop. I don't care if you're at Macy's one day and the next day you're on Amazon buying from us and the next day you're on our DTC. What I care is that you understand the brand, it's consistent, and you have the same experience throughout the omni-channel. And that is something that I built the strategy on.
Well, anything else you want to share with our audience watching? Any special promotions, any new news?
Any plugs? Yeah.
So I have a personal promotion I thought I would give your audience. So I have a VIP 20% off code that I have for friends and family. It's called DH, like Dawn Hilarczyk, 2024. If you put in that code, you actually get 20% off on our website at borghese.com. And the great thing about it is we have a loyalty program. So please sign up for loyalty because we're always really rewarding our loyal customers. I think the other thing is beauty is very saturated. 100 plus brands launch a year. Everyone has great products. What I want you to remember about Borghese is that start with the masks. So you can try all the other products you love, but the mask, the Spango mud mask is such a game changer. It's in a great jar that is reusable, so you can upcycle and start there and build trust. But I guarantee once you try the products, once you're sold. Yes, so enjoy our 20% promotion.
We'll write out the
and
details in the share out post and give everyone the code. But thank you again. We appreciate you and sharing your thoughts, your career path, and giving everyone a chance to learn about, you, Dawn, the marketing expert, and then also Borghese. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you today. I appreciate it.
We'll talk soon. Bye.